My uncle left me a tropical paradise with some important rules to follow. Alright, anyone have something like this happen to them? So the other night, I get back to my apartment after another lousy shift, and there's a freaking letter addressed to me on my bed. Not in the stack of bills piled up under the mail slot on my mattress. Looked like it came out of a fantasy story. Fancy wax seal on the envelope and everything. I asked the landlady if the security cameras covering my hallway recorded anyone breaking in, but it just caught that punk from 4F making out with his latest girlfriend. All my windows were still locked from the inside when I checked. Creeped me the hell out. I didn't open the letter for a few days. Figured if someone was playing a prank on me, they'd out themselves if I didn't bring it up for a while. But I got curious, and a few hours ago, I popped the seal and read it. Here's what it said. Dearest nephew, if you are reading this, it means my long life has finally drawn to a close and I must pass along the family estate to my most eligible next of kin, which is you. Being a single man in his youth with few social obligations, you are the prime candidate to undergo this venture. Just imagine it. Your own private island with a lavish mansion, breathtaking scenery, full amenities, even Wi-Fi, and never having to work another day in your life. And all you have to do to leave the dreary world of the 9-to-5 wage slave is pack your bags. But I think I'm getting ahead of things. Allow me to introduce myself. You have never met me, but I am your father's great Uncle Stanley, your grandmother Constance's cousin. Given my less than respectable lifestyle in my youth and my disappearance 60 years ago, it would be no surprise if the memory of me had been conveniently swept under the rug. I gather my life before undertaking this lifelong vacation bears similarity to yours. I kept to myself with little social interaction, had disinterest in work and studies, and had nothing to occupy my time but my vices. And much like yourself and those before me, I was in my early 20s when I got a letter from a forgotten relative with the deal of a lifetime. Since then, my entire life has been spent in luxury and peaceful isolation. I kept up to date with the outside world through newspapers, television, and the internet. Supplies arrive regularly at the dock, and I have never found myself wanting. I enjoyed many hobbies such as fishing, swimming, gardening, island chores, and even did a spot of writing. Now, as I feel my age catching up to me, I must pass along this paradise and prepare its new tenant, or should I say caretaker, for what awaits you should you choose to take up this offer. For while your life here will be luxurious, nothing is free, and there are a few simple responsibilities you must keep tabs on. That, and living in isolation means you must be aware of any and all hazards so as not to find yourself caught with the proverbial thumb up your keister. Don't worry, our family has been enjoying this island for generations, and through over 3 centuries of trial and error, we have this place figured out to a T. The mansion's library will have all you could want to know about this place's history and rules of upkeep, and I will write several more cheat sheets to help you with the more nuanced tasks. But for the sake of brevity, this letter'll just get you up to speed on the process of getting you settled on your arrival. Should you accept the responsibility, a car will pick you up at first light the day after you open and read this letter. You'll know it when you see it. Don't ask how it knows to come. Just be ready at the curb with your belongings. Don't leave anything behind you want to lose, as you won't be coming back. From there, you will be driven to port, where your driver will point out the ship waiting to take you to your new home. The crew will load your belongings. Under no circumstances are you to offer to help them, but do be sure to thank them for their services. They're persnickety about these things, and besides you're about to begin a new life of leisure. No point in throwing all that away by becoming the newest member of the crew. Once on board, the trip will take 4 days. Do not worry if you have a tendency towards seasickness. The helmsman is sure, and the ride is smooth no matter the weather. However, while you are allowed full access to the ship during the day, it is imperative that at night you stay on the top deck. Under no circumstances should you venture below deck at night regardless of threats of impending storms, as the crew is restless and the moonlight's protection won't reach below. Instead, spend your nights at the forward top deck near the ship's figurehead, and sleep during the day in the shade. Also, while the cook is a surly individual, he has a jovial nature at heart and his cooking is immaculate. But whatever you do, don't ask for seconds, and politely decline the gumbo. Long pig may sound delicious, but believe me when I say it is one culinary venture you don't want to take. When you arrive at the island, the crew will unload your belongings into a golf cart with a storage trunk parked near the dock for your convenience. It is now safe to assist them if you so desire. Be sure to thank them again for their services and wish them well. Shake the captain's hand, but do not do so with the helmsman. Stay at the dock and watch until they sail out of sight. If you happen to see the ship capsize, check the mooring post on your right. If the time matches what was carved into the wood, then there is nothing to worry about. If it doesn't, note the time for later, then begin making your way along the path to the mansion up the hill. You should reach the house well before sundown. Try not to get distracted with the scenery. There'll be time enough for that later. The front door should be unlocked, but when you first arrive, pass it up and instead park the cart to the right of the mansion by the greenhouse. You can leave your belongings there. They will be moved to your quarters that night after you familiarize yourself with the house a bit. The door closest to the greenhouse opens into the kitchen. If the ship that brought you here went under at a time other than what was carved on the mooring post, write it down on the clipboard hanging next to the sink. Feel free to grab a light snack from the fridge if you're feeling peckish, but be sure to save room for dinner. Then walk through the green door which opens into the dining hall. The tables will be set and all but one of the chairs will be pushed in. Leave this chair out and the half-eaten food in front of it untouched. It is the custodian's seat, and he will return to his meal after he brings in your belongings later in the night. From the dining hall, you will walk into the main foyer. Take your time to appreciate the marble staircase, and see if you can make out the faint impressions left by feet from 3 centuries of our family treading up and down them. Make your way up to the 3rd floor landing and take a right. The opulent door at the end of the hall is the master bedroom, but do not enter, as the custodian sleeps there between tenants and values his privacy. Instead, politely knock 3 times, and announce that you are the new occupant and will be requiring him to return to his assigned quarters by the morning. Then, return downstairs to the dining hall, where your own dinner will be waiting for you at the main table. After dinner, be sure to stack your plates and utensils neatly. You want to make a good impression with the custodian. Then, return to the foyer and go through the large green double doors on the other side of the mansion. This is the library, where you will spend the night while the custodian readies your room and gets you settled in. The armchair by the fireplace is quite comfortable, and in my recent years, I find myself comfortably sleeping here more than the master bedroom. While there is an extensive collection of books, I guess that you'll be more interested in the small paper taped to the underside of the coffee table with the Wi-Fi password. However, I would advise you read the letter I will leave in the large green book on the writing desk. It will entail how to proceed with your first day as the island's caretaker, as getting a feel for these things ahead of time helps. By 9:45 p.m., close and lock all locks on the double doors, and check to ensure the window locks are in place and not loose. A small screwdriver is in the left drawer of the writing desk if they need to be tightened. Then, get comfortable and spend the rest of the night here. Ignore any noises coming from the hallway. The custodian will be using the front door throughout the night, so expect to hear it opening several times. If you need to use the bathroom, there is one on the other side of the blue door to the right of the fireplace. There is a small case with reusable earplugs on the mantelpiece. I would advise you use them this first night, as the local wildlife tends to get vocal after 10 p.m., and while most are harmless, their calls can be unsettling for those unaccustomed to them. On that same note, if you hear your name in the night, do not respond or react in any way. Just don't. Trust me, it's not worth it. And that should cover your first night on the island. You will be awoken in the morning with 3 knocks on the double doors. This is the custodian letting you know he has finished transferring your belongings to the master bedroom. He will not enter the mansion again except for the scheduled cleaning days. From there, refer to my aforementioned letter in the Green Book for everything you'll need to know about officially becoming caretaker of the island and all it entails. I do hope you'll take this chance of a lifetime, but the choice is of course yours. Regardless of your decision, I hope this letter found you well, and that you will continue to have a pleasant life. Sincerely, great Uncle Stanley, _ I still had the login for the family tree service my grandmother got for us before her passing, and sure enough, I did have a great Uncle Stanley. although there was next to nothing about him other than his name. While it could be, and probably is, a scam, I gotta admit it's not like I've got a lot to lose. My job sucks ass, and I've had to sell most of my belongings just to cover the rent in this glorified storage unit of an apartment. I haven't been close with most of my family in years. Not since I was falsely accused of SA in high school because the popular girl was bored. Same incident lost me the few friends I had, so my social circle is non-existent too. I only have a small backpack, but it can fit what few clothes and possessions I have easily enough. Honestly, I'm at the point where I'll try anything over this dead-end life I'm living now. I've got my stuff out on my mattress ready to be packed, and let my boss know I won't be in for a few days. I'm gonna wait outside tomorrow for the car to pick me up. If you don't hear from me in a week, they probably took my kidneys or something. I'll post again when and if I can. Wish me luck.